Welcome to today's Lost Souls, where we bring you the most impactful and unforgettable stories from around the world. Today, we remember the lives of remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and resonate. From iconic musicians to trailblazing activists, join us as we celebrate their extraordinary contributions and bid farewell to those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Stay tuned for a journey through their incredible stories.
Andrea Gibson. Andrea Gibson was a celebrated American poet, spoken word artist, and LGBTQ+ activist who passed away on July 14, 2025. After a courageous 4-year battle with ovarian cancer, Gibson was known for their emotionally powerful performances and writings that explored themes of gender identity, social justice, politics, mental health, and love, identifying as genderqueer and using they/them pronouns. Gibson's work resonated deeply within LGBTQ+ communities and beyond, influencing a generation of poets and activists. Born on August 13, 1975, in Calais, Maine, Gibson grew up in a conservative Baptist household before pursuing an English degree on a basketball scholarship. In 1999, they moved to Boulder, Colorado, where their passion for spoken word blossomed. Gibson quickly established themselves as a formidable force, becoming a 4-time Denver Grand Slam champion and winning the Women of the World Poetry Slam in 2008. In 2023, they were appointed Colorado's Poet Laureate, recognized for their ability to connect with diverse audiences through their compelling poetry and activism. Throughout their career, Gibson published 7 poetry collections, including Pole Dancing, To Gospel Hymns, The Madness Vase, Pansy, and Lord of the Butterflies. Their poetry often blended personal vulnerability with pointed social critique, addressing issues like gender norms, violence, and the struggles of marginalized communities. After their cancer diagnosis, Gibson also wrote openly about illness, mortality, and hope, providing a poignant and inspiring perspective on facing terminal illness. Gibson's life and battle with cancer were intimately documented in the 2025 Sundance Film Festival documentary, Come See Me in the Good Light, directed by Ryan White and produced by Tig. The film captured Gibson and their wife Megan Falley's journey through love, loss, and resilience. Touching audiences with its humor and heartbreak, Andrea Gibson passed away peacefully at their home in Longmont, Colorado, surrounded by their wife, 4 ex-girlfriends, parents, close friends, and 3 beloved dogs. Tributes poured in from fellow artists, activists, and political figures, including Colorado Governor Jared Polis, who called Gibson truly one of a kind, with a unique ability to connect people through poetry. Andrea Gibson's legacy endures through their impactful artistry and advocacy, which continue to inspire conversations about identity, justice, and the transformative power of words. David Kaff. David Kaff, also known as David Caffinetti, was a British musician and actor most famous for his role as Viv Savage, the laid-back keyboardist of the fictional rock band Spinal Tap in the iconic 1984 mockumentary, This Is Spinal Tap. Born on April 17, 1946, in Folkestone, England, Kaff had a distinguished career as a progressive rock keyboardist before his turn to acting. He was a founding member of the progressive rock band Rare Bird, active from 1969 to 1975. Their 1970 single, Sympathy, achieved significant commercial success, reaching number 27 on the UK charts and selling over 1 million copies worldwide. Kaff also contributed as a session keyboardist to Chuck Berry's 1972 album, The London Chuck Berry Sessions, including the hit single, My Dingaling. In This Is Spinal Tap, Kaff's character Viv Savage was known for his witty one-liners and memorable moments, including the famous line during the film's closing credits, "Have a good time, all the time." Following the film, he performed live with Spinal Tap, notably appearing on Saturday Night Live in 1984. Before leaving the band later that year, in recent years, Kaff remained active in music, performing with the San Francisco-based band Mutual of Alameda's Wild Kingdom. His bandmates announced his peaceful passing in his sleep, expressing heartbreak over the loss of their dear brother. Known for his kindness and sharp wit, David Kaff's legacy endures through his contributions to progressive rock and his unforgettable role in one of the most beloved rock comedies of all time, Lynne Marie Stewart. Lynne Marie Stewart was an acclaimed American actress, best known for her iconic role as Miss Yvonne, the most beautiful woman in Puppetland, on the beloved 1980s children's television show, Pee-wee's Playhouse. She passed away on February 21, 2025. At her sister's home in Los Angeles, after a sudden illness caused by cancer, doctors discovered a tumor near her liver and gallbladder. Shortly after she had completed filming the comedy, The Dink, in December 2024. Born on December 14, 1946, in Linwood, California, Stewart's acting career spanned over 6 decades with nearly 150 film, television, theater, and voice credits. Aside from her unforgettable work on Pee-wee's Playhouse, where her character's flamboyant hairstyles and bubbly personality became a staple of the show's quirky charm, she was also widely recognized for her role as Bonnie Kelly, the eccentric and gentle mother of Charlie, on the long-running sitcom It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She appeared in 18 episodes of the series between 2005 and 2023. Stewart was a longtime member of the renowned improv troupe The Groundlings, where she first met Paul Reubens, creator of Pee-wee Herman. Her extensive career also included roles in films such as American Graffiti, 1973, The Running Man, 1987, and Bridesmaids, 2011. Along with guest appearances on popular TV shows like MASH, The Golden Girls, and Night Court. Colleagues and fans remember Lynne Marie Stewart as a gifted performer with a warm heart and a sharp comedic sense. Charlie Day, her co-star from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, paid tribute to her as brilliant and talented, expressing gratitude for the laughter she brought to audiences. Her kindness and dedication to her craft were frequently praised by friends, including fellow performers Cassandra Peterson and Lorraine Newman. Stewart is survived by her sister Gail and several grandchildren. Her vibrant spirit and memorable characters continue to inspire and entertain new generations. Valerie Mahaffey, an Emmy-winning American actress renowned for her versatile performances across television, film, and stage, passed away on May 30, 2025, in California, after a battle with cancer. Her career spanned nearly 5 decades and included memorable roles in popular TV series such as Northern Exposure, Desperate Housewives, Young Sheldon, and Big Sky, as well as notable films like Sully and French Exit. Born on June 16, 1953, in Sumatra, Indonesia, to a Canadian mother and American father, Mahaffey spent her early years in various countries before moving to Texas during her teenage years. She graduated from the University of Texas at Austin and began her acting career with her debut on the NBC daytime soap opera The Doctors, 1979 to 1981. Earning a Daytime Emmy nomination in 1980, Mahaffey reached a career peak with her 1992 Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series for her role as the hypochondriac Eve in Northern Exposure. She became widely known for portraying quirky, sometimes unhinged women, as seen in her recurring role as Alma Hodge, the scheming ex-wife of Orson Hodge, in Desperate Housewives. Her television work also included Dead to Me, The Powers That Be, Our Wings, and appearances in Cheers and Seinfeld. On the big screen, Valerie delivered critically acclaimed performances in films like French Exit 2020, where she portrayed the optimistic Madame Renard, earning an Independent Spirit Award nomination. She also appeared in Sully 2016, a Clint Eastwood-directed film starring Tom Hanks, as well as comedies such as Senior Trip 1995 and Jungle to Jungle 1997. Her husband, actor Joseph Kell, expressed profound sorrow over her passing, calling her the love of my life and one of America's most endearing actresses. Their daughter Alice shared a heartfelt message on social media, reflecting on the pain of loss and the joyful memories Valerie left behind. Valerie Mahaffey's legacy is marked by her unique ability to bring comedic depth and complexity to her characters, leaving a lasting impact on stage, screen, and television. Her contributions to entertainment continue to be celebrated by fans and colleagues worldwide. Goldie Hawn. Goldie Jean Hawn entered the world on November 21, 1945, in the riverline suburb of Silver Spring, Maryland, just as America was pivoting from the privations of war toward an era of optimism. Her father, Edward Ronald Hawn, ran a modest music store by day and played in a weekend swing combo by night, while her mother, Laura Steinhoff, taught ballet classes in a second-floor studio that smelled of resin and tulle. Home life was a collage of frugality and boundless imagination. Goldie and her older sister Patty shared a room where bunk bed slats doubled as imaginary stage curtains, and the family's fuzzy black-and-white television broadcast variety shows that sparked Gold's fascination with comedic timing. She mimicked Lucille Ball's facial contortions in the bathroom mirror, certain that humor could eliminate even the tightest household budget. At age 11, Goldie's nimble feet earned her a coveted spot at the American Ballet Academy in downtown Washington. Each pre-dawn streetcar ride taught self, while the Academy's strict regimen carved discipline into her bones. Yet even as plies honed her posture, her mind catalogued punchlines from Milton Berle reruns. A scholarship sent her to New York one blistering July to study classical dance under George Balanchine protégé. There, she discovered the electric buzz of backstage corridors and began to dream of broader stages than ballet alone could offer. The early 1960s blew in cultural upheaval. Motown on every transistor, civil rights marches flickering across nightly. News and Goldie felt a powerful tug toward show business writ large. Some stock theaters in Maryland and Virginia welcomed her after rehearsals. She danced chorus lines in Revival of Gypsy and Bye Bye Birdie, quietly stealing attention when comedic leads fumbled lines. Directors noticed her instinct to lace humor through movement, an early signal of the persona that would later charm millions. Still, finances were brittle. Goldie finished Montgomery Blair High School's fledgling drama track while teaching beginner ballet at her mother's studio to cover gas and leotards. Drama teacher William B. Leeds refined her stage blocking and improv, casting her as Adelaide in Guys and Dolls, a role that married her dancer's grace to screwball timing. The applause cemented her conviction. Joy could be manufactured, shaped, and then released like confetti over an audience. In the summer of 1964, against her father's gentle plea for a steadier profession, she loaded a Ford Falcon with 2 suitcases, recital trophies, and $50 tucked into tap shoes. Then pointed the hood toward New York City. A windowless room on West 71st Street became headquarters. She survived on diner coffee refills and bruised apples from closing produce stalls. Days blurred into audition lines, evening ballet classes, and late-night improvisation workshops at Café Wa, where she learned to mine laughter from everyday absurdities. Those scrappy years forged resilience and philosophy alike. That joy is both craft and calling, requiring as much sweat as satire. Long before studio chiefs and Klieg lights entered her orbit, Goldie internalized a conviction that would steer every future choice. That optimism, honed and practiced, can glow bright enough to light the darkest theater, the mid-1960s audition circuit finally cracked wide open in 1967 when a casting director for CBS's sitcom, Good Morning World, spotted Goldie doing a manic Charleston in a Greenwich Village basement review. Hired to play a ditzy neighbor with comic book timing, she wielded innocence like a setup and punchline in one breath, and network executives took note. Yet that show lasted only a single season. Its real legacy was the clip reel that landed on producer George Schlutter's desk during a frantic talent search for his new NBC sketch series, Rowan and Martin's Laughing. Goldie arrived on set in 1968 wearing an off-theric yellow bikini and left a national sensation. Her scattershot giggle, painted body art, and staccato one-liners became emblematic of the show's psychedelic pace. By season 2, she introduced America to a new kind of comedian, equal parts ingenue and anarchist, blurring the line between satire and sunshine. Hollywood pivoted fast. Columbia Pictures cast her opposite Walter Matthau and Ingrid Bergman in Cactus Flower, 1969. As suicidal dental assistant Tony Simmons, Goldie threaded POS through Pratt Falls, detonating any lingering dumb blonde cliché and earning the 1970 Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress at age 24. That golden statuette unlocked a treasury of scripts. There's a Girl in My Soup, opposite Peter Sears, Butterflies Are Free, 1972, where she played a free-spirited neighbor teaching independence to a blind veteran, and The Sugarland Express, 1974, Steven Spielberg's feature debut, which showcased her raw capacity for maternal ferocity beneath comedic sparkle. Her crowning mid-70s turn in Shampoo, 1975, placed her within Warren Beatty's social satire, confirming her as both marquee draw and feminist counterpoint amid Hollywood's new wave cynicism. Behind camera, she cultivated business savvy and instinct, born from those lean Maryland years, and negotiated producer credit on several projects. The first arrived in Private Benjamin, 1980. Conceived from an idle joke among friends about pampered civilians in boot camp, Goldie developed it into a screenplay pitch, secured financing at Warner Brothers, and headlined as Judy Benjamin, the naive widow who joins the U.S. Army. The film grossed over $100 million worldwide, spawned a 3-season television spin-off, and earned her an Oscar nomination for Best Actress. In Hollywood boardrooms, the success redefined her as a power broker, an actor who could greenlight content tailored to female self-determination while still printing money for studios. Kitten throughout the 1980s, she navigated genre with Bleeder Keys, Political Satire Protocol, 1984, Blue Collar Romance Swing Shift, 1984, opposite Kurt Russell, marking the beginning of one of Hollywood's most enduring off-screen partnerships, and thriller comedy Foul Play, 1978, whose Hitchcock-light panache reset expectations for female comedic leads. Each role blended her hallmark optimism with thematic heft, proving lightness need not equal sharp. The late 1980s delivered the evergreen cult favorite Overboard, 1987. Here, Goldie inverted privilege into slapstick amnesia and foreshadowed a future streaming generation's love affair with comfort comedies. The 1990s cemented her legacy. Black comedy Death Becomes Her, 1992, used cutting-edge CGI to pit her against Maya Street in a satirical duel over immortality. Ensemble Smash The First Wives Club, 1996. Unleashed a rallying cry for midlife reinvention that echoed across pop culture. Even mild critical misfires like Town and Country, 2001, could not tarnish her bankable glow because she had already shifted into selective work mode, auditioning opportunities against maternal duties and philanthropic passions. Though Goldie never headlined daytime soap operas, the realm Brazilians dubbed novelas, her comedic archetype infiltrated serialized television through the Private Benjamin adaptation and guest arcs on anthology series, where her timing served as masterclass for aspiring writers. Syndicated reruns of Laughing kept her early sketches perpetually in circulation, tutoring new generations that jokes land hardest when delivered with unguarded joy. Spanning 5 decades, her box office footprint exceeds $4 billion in adjusted revenue. Yet, critics emphasize a subtler triumph: the mainstreaming of female-driven comedies that treat vulnerability not as weakness, but as launching pad for agency. In interviews, directors credit her for cracking open market perceptions that marital fasts, political satire, and buddy capers could revolve around a woman's arc without losing male viewers. This constellation of success stories stitched a vibrant professional tapestry, but behind each title lay the disciplined dancer's muscle memory. Countless table reads, physical comedy rehearsals, and script doctoring sessions after midnight. Her ascent from chorus line, unknown to Oscar-winning producer star, required equal parts athletic stamina and business acumen, both sharpened in that cramped West 71st Street apartment and refined in studio boardrooms. Goldie's career is built on kinetic energy, yet her relationship with wellness has evolved through constant recalibration. In the mid-1970s, After consecutive sets that demanded 12-hour days and high-impact stunts, she began experiencing persistent knee pain that threatened her dance-rooted comedic style. Rather than surrender momentum, she sought preventive orthopedics. At Cedars-Sinai, undergoing arthroscopic surgery on her right meniscus in 1976, rehabilitation introduced her to early forms of Pilates and yoga. Discipline she credits with rebalancing both body and mind. By the time Private Benjamin wrapped, journalists noted her leaner silhouette. The transformation wasn't driven by vanity, but by functional necessity. An athlete's safeguarding range of motion for slapstick falls and athletic spins that remained integral to her on-screen identity. Mental well-being soon joined the regimen. Glare intensified following her Oscar win, bringing intrusive tabloid narratives and what she later described as traffic jam thoughts that crowded her mind before live interviews. In 1980, she began weekly cognitive behavioral sessions, reframing anxiety as data rather than threat. The results were transformative enough that 2 decades later, she partnered with neuroscientists at the University of British Columbia to launch Mind Up, a mindfulness-based curriculum now implemented in over 30 countries. Her advocacy reframed meditation not as esoteric luxury, but as mental hygiene, analogous to brushing teeth, a message later echoed by school boards from Vancouver to Miami. A pivotal medical chapter arrived. In the early 2000s, when Goldie confronted osteoporosis markers detected during a routine DEXA scan, alarmed by her mother's hip fracture history, she launched a comprehensive lifestyle overhaul. Calciumric, Mediterranean diet, resistance band, strength training, and daily sunlight walks along the Pacific Palisades. Within 18 months, bone density improvement surprised her endocrinologist, and she became an unofficial spokesperson for proactive aging, appearing on Good Morning America to demystify dexterity decline for women entering menopause. Cardiovascular vigilance followed. Kurt Russell's 2015 heart stent procedure heightened their household's focus on arterial health, prompting dual enrollment in UCLA's cardiac longevity study. They embraced interval training routines designed by Dr. Dean Ornish, and Goldie adopted a split vegetarian diet, allowing seafood only when sourced sustainably. Annual checkups revealed cholesterol numbers trending downward. She often jokes that laughter may be the best medicine, but fiber is its understudy. Her comedic framing of serious topics helped destigmatize routine screenings among peers who had once avoided white coat environments until crisis struck. Vision, however, presented an unavoidable hurdle. In March 2025, while presenting at the 97th Academy Awards, Goldie publicly acknowledged advanced cataracts in both eyes. Live television captured her lighthearted request for Andrew Garfield to read the teleprompter, sparking a viral conversation about age-related ocular degeneration. The following month, she underwent femlis eris-assisted surgery at the Jules Stein Institute. Post-op downtime became an unexpected contemplative retreat. She dedicated convalescent hours to script revisions for a planned streaming limited series exploring intergenerational caregiving. In her first public appearance after surgery, an April gala for Children's Hospital Los Angeles, she donned non-prescription clear lenses, quipping, "The future looks bright and mercifully in focus." Amid these physiological chapters, Goldie consistently leveraged celebrity capital to raise research funds. In 2017, she and actress Kate Hudson, her daughter, hosted the inaugural Laugh for Life benefit at the Dolby Theatre, channeling proceeds toward neuroscience studies on adolescent anxiety. The event has since grown into an annual telethon featuring comedians who trade punchlines for pledges, and clinical trials funded by the effort have yielded peer-reviewed breakthroughs in school-based mindfulness interventions. Her philanthropic strategy underscores an ethic learned in childhood ballet studios. Discipline is community service in motion. Today at 79, Goldie's health narrative reads, not as a litany of ailments, but as a case study in adaptive resilience. She maintains a 5-day-a-week practice of Vinyasa flow punctuated by low-impact trail cycling and daily 10-minute gratitude. journalling. Regular lab panels show triglycerides within optimal range, bone density above national averages, and resting heart rate hovering in the mid-50s, thanks to pranayama breathing. Asked recently on a podcast whether she fears aging, she replied, "Fear is just imagination without choreography. I choose choreography." Her mantra encapsulates the mindset that threads through every doctor's report. Longevity is an art form cultivated through curiosity, movement, and unabashed joy. Goldie's luminous public persona has always coexisted with periods of private grief. Beginning in 1982, when her father, Edward Hahn, collapsed from a sudden cardiac event after closing the family music shop for the evening, the phone call reached her trailer on the set of Best Friends, and production paused while she flew to Washington to plan a simple synagogue service that echoed their Friday night hymns. Friends recall her moving through the shiva with measured grace, pressing handwritten notes into mourners' palms, each a joke or anecdote he once told, because she believed shared laughter could stabilize shaking foundations. 12 years later, in 1994, her mother Laura's battle with kidney complications ended quietly at St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica. Goldie spent those final weeks sleeping on a cot beside the bed, reading Rumi poems during dialysis sessions. After the funeral, she retreated to a rented coastal cottage, emerging 3 months later with the outline for MindUp's first compassion training module, proof that sorrow, when metabolized with creativity, can yield social good. Romantic losses carried different textures. Her 1969 allotment with dancer-director Gus Dronis collapsed under the weight of competing ambitions and relentless travel. Their amicable separation in 1973 taught Goldie the value of ending chapters before affection turns to resentment. The divorce finalized 3 years later. Her second marriage to musician-comedian Bill Hudson in 1976 delivered 2 children, Oliver and Kate, yet dissolved in 1980 amid touring schedules and diverging life philosophies. Co-parenting negotiations were occasionally strained, especially as Bill's relationship with the children waned over time. Goldie shouldered single-parent logistics, school pickups, immunizations, PTA meetings while filming Swing Shift by day, and rewriting scripts by night. She once remarked that heartbreak can become a masterclass in time management, teaching a mother to protect innocence in her children, even when her own optimism feels threadbare. The eventual steady partnership with Kurt Russell, beginning Christmas 1983, represented not just romantic renewal, but the healing of a household. Together, they nurtured a blended family that grew to include Wyatt Russell, forging rituals, game, night charades, Thanksgiving potlucks, that stitched old and new bonds into cohesive fabric. Outside the immediate family, Goldie weathered the departures of professional confidants who had shaped her craft. Laughing castmate Henry Gibson passed in 2009, followed by Dick Martin in 2008, and creative genius George Slatter's health decline that curtailed their annual reunions. Each loss felt like another vaudeville footlight, dimming. The 2014 death of a longtime friend and comedic muse, Robin Williams, struck particularly deep. Their chemistry during the Banger Sisters press tours had sparked plans for a joint stage project that never materialized. Goldie responded by funding scholarships at the Juilliard School's drama division in his memory, ensuring rising comics from marginalized communities could access classical training without incurring prohibitive debt. She has since attended every scholarship showcase, sitting front row to offer whispered notes on timing and diction. Grief also surfaced in less headline-grabbing corners. The 2017 Malibu fires destroyed the guest cottage where she once hosted meditation retreats. The charred remains of decades-old journals and rehearsal tapes felt like the eraser of temporal anchors. Neighbors later recounted seeing Goldie at dawn planting native saplings atop the blackened hill, humming folk tunes as if coaxing new roots to embrace scorched earth. In press interviews, she reframed the disaster as elemental proof that belongings are transient, but purpose can be perennial. Her response mirrored an ethic she repeats to grandchildren. We can't stop the waves, but we can learn the choreography. Amid these chapters, Goldie maintained a practice of family storytelling nights, inviting children, stepchildren, and now 7 grandchildren to gather twice a year for pancake suppers, where everyone must share one memory of an ancestor. The ritual keeps departed loved ones, Edward's corny puns, Laura's ballet corrections, even estranged relatives alive in collective narrative. Kate Hudson credits those evenings with shaping her own parenting philosophy, acknowledging that emotional fluency can be taught like scales on a piano. When Oliver published his memoir in 2022 detailing struggles with self-image and reconciliation, Goldie appeared on his podcast to discuss generational healing, admitting on air that parenting under Clarlights magnifies every misstep but also amplifies every apology. It was a raw, restorative exchange that turned thousands of listener emails into impromptu group therapy homework for families nationwide. Through each farewell, whether to a parent, partner, colleague, or beloved possession, Goldie's coping mechanism circles back to creative action, a scholarship, a curriculum, a reforested hillside. A candid conversation. Loss does not diminish her life's tempo. Instead, it infuses new movements into the ongoing dance she began in that Maryland attic of make-believe. The resilience forged in grief became the invisible scaffolding beneath her trademark levity, allowing millions who watch her films to sense sincerity behind every laugh line. At 79, Goldie orchestrates each dawn like a film call sheet. Sunrise meditation facing the Pacific, 15-minute gratitude journaling, and a brisk e-bike ride that deposits her at the breezy bungalow, where she and Kurt Russell maintain a joint production incubator dubbed Happy Road Studios. 3 mornings a week, she Zoom workshops pilot scripts with emerging screenwriters, relishing the mentor role once played for her by George Slatter. Afternoons find her on a soundstage in Culver City shooting cameo scenes for The Good Stuff, a forthcoming Apple TV Plus anthology exploring acts of radical kindness. Evenings alternate between developmental table reads for Mind Up Media, a slate of short-form documentaries on neuroplasticity for classroom use, and family dinners where grandchildren rotate desert duty, turning the kitchen into a generational improv set. Publicly, she champions dual missions, scaling Mind Up's curriculum to reach 10 million children by 2030, and frontlining Project Row, a Rowing initiative aimed at restoring fire-scarred acreage along the California coast. Her Instagram feed toggles between behind-scenes footage of VR mindfulness games for middle schoolers and time-lapse videos of empty cypress saplings taking root. Cypress saplings taking root. Hollywood still beckons. She's negotiating an executive producer role on a feature that reunites her on screen with Kate Hudson in a mother-daughter drumdie already sparking Oscar whisper campaigns. Yet, Goldie's contract stipulates carbon-neutral sets and mandatory mindfulness breaks, proof that star power can reshape industry norms. Home life with Kurt remains a study in playful equilibrium. They practice line readings while chopping vegetables, hold competitive Wordle showdowns, and maintain a standing Thursday yes day where any spontaneous idea, moonlight paddleboarding, midnight salsa class is honored without debate. Their Malibu home doubles as community hub. Sunday salons invite neuroscientists, stand-up comics, and high school art students to cross-pollinate ideas over lentil stew. The house vibrating with intellectual jazz, much like Laura Hon's ballet studio once pulsed with plurs. Looking ahead, Goldie plots to legacy projects, a memoir tentatively titled Choreographing Joy, weaving behind-scenes anecdotes with mindfulness exercises, and a touring stage piece blending spoken word, vintage film clips, and live orchestration to trace the evolution of female comedy from vaudeville to TikTok. She views the latter as both history lesson and baton pass, inviting comics to join her on stage, city by city. Retirement, she insists, is a myth. Artists don't retire, they remix. In interviews, she paraphrases Seneca, "Life is long if you know how to use it," then adds her own riff, "and funny if you choose to laugh through it." Thus, Goldie Hawn's present is neither coda nor epilogue, but a vibrant fifth act, one where artistry, activism, and ancestral storytelling interweave to prove that optimism, when tended like a perennial, blooms across decades. Her legacy lives not solely in celluloid or accolades, but in every classroom, practicing mindful breathing, in every seedling, reclaiming burned hillsides, and in every punchline that coaxes resilience from sorrow. The girl who once balanced ballet, slippers and taps, shoe savings now balances global initiatives and family game nights, embodying the thesis she has carried since Silver Spring. Joy is a discipline, and she will keep rehearsing it, take after take, well into whatever adventures the next sunrise cues.